Quant Network, ladies and gentlemen, is just going from strength to strength. And over the past 48 hours, there has been two huge announcements that we absolutely have to cover concerning Quant Network. Of course, these announcements were made by the man himself, the CEO of Quant Network, Mr. Gilbert Verdrian. One is to do with Quant Flow, which is all about programmable money. And then there is the announcement of Overledger Fusion. Now, we've always highlighted Quant as being almost like a Google to the internet. It's kind of a portal, if you will, to allow anybody and everybody, predominantly institutions, to access and harness the distributed ledger space through one interface in an interconnected manner. Don't worry, that's a lot of information. We're going to break it all down and look at these two announcements. And then, of course, we'll do a little bit of price analysis. Very much moving in the manner that we thought it would. We were looking at a falling wedge, a bit of a channel that was forming. Crypto space largely pulled back. We said Quant was likely going to break out. And the last time we covered Quant Network was to do with their involvement with the ECB on the digital euro. They were one of the few, I think one of the only crypto projects that were actually mentioned on that as being a key enabler. We did a longer video on it of digital money, the digital euro. And really, Quant Network, I think some people look at it as competition. It's not. It's actually something that you want to succeed, because if it succeeds, the things that it grants access to through its Overledger system will also succeed. Quant is not a DLT. It's an operating system, if you will. That's why we compare it to Google. If you think about Google, it brings everything under one search engine and gives you access to the internet, and you can do all these things with it. Quant's very similar. But that's enough from me rambling on. Let's dive into the announcements. And this, of course, was made by Gilbert Verdrian himself. I'm delighted to announce the launch of Quant Flow, a game-changing programmable money platform that transforms money from a simple transaction into a next-generation workflow with advanced programmability and automation, making money work for you. And we're going to dive over to their website. But before we do that, I actually want to play the video that was attached to this. So without further ado, let's dive into that.
Ideas don't wait. They flow. From a prototype to a product, a sketch to a skyline, and from a single order to a global marketplace. But money hasn't caught up. It stalls, stops, and waits for instruction. However, with QuantFlow, your money moves like your ideas, seamlessly and intuitively. Powered by PayScript, our dynamic open language, your financial workflows become intelligent, automated, and instant. Programmable money that works for you, all of you. So you can focus on what's next. Your money, your rules. QuantFlow, the money engine.
The money engine. You know, Quant is doing something quite magnificent. It's my belief that the internet of value is being formed, and Quant may play a key role in that. You know, we're still at a kind of infancy stage for the crypto space as a whole, in the sense that it's not got that much usage. It's got a lot of utility, but not that much usage as of right now. That is all still to come. It's my belief, in fact, that every business is going to have to leverage this technology, directly or indirectly, just like they do the internet, in the future. And in regards to that trajectory, we're right at the start. That's the real value proposition here with the cryptocurrency space. And we've always, like I said at the start of the video, highlighted Quant for its kind of useful nature in kind of enabling that, you know, with its Overledger system, which we're going to get onto in just a second with the next announcement that we've got for you. This, of course, is the Quant Flow, the money engine. I think this is a brilliant branding. It talks about a number of things. It talks about game-changing programmable automation. At the heart of Quant Flow is PayScript, Quant's open standard language of money. Quant Flow enables you to design custom payment workflows, automate complex financial operations, and create conditional payments. Gone are the days of complex and cumbersome manual processes. Welcome to the new era where money works for you, enabling frictionless business and global trade. There's a one world global system being formed. And you've got to think, right? Quant can't actually essentially do this themselves. What they can do is through their Overledger and this system allow people to make cross-border payments, unlock agility with programmability, treasury automation, keep work. They essentially leverage distributed ledgers underneath them. You want to think of Quant, it kind of like I say, it's really like that search engine. It sits at the top, and then you've got institutions that plug into its APIs, and they can harness the power of DLT essentially through whatever crypto they choose to do so. It's truly a very useful and impactful technology. There's a very small supply of Quant. I'll show you that we have a price target for Quant. We'll get into some price actions in a second of sort of $1,200. That's just, I think, a conservative price prediction, if anything. And, I could see that achieving it in a short period of time. There's a flip that's going to be switched as it relates to this technology. But this is from Gilbert Verdrin also, announcing Overledger Fusion, the world's first Layer 2 network for institutions and DeFi. Today, we're unveiling our plans for Overledger Fusion, our groundbreaking Layer 2.5 network designed to unlock the full potential of public blockchains for institutions, enterprises, and DeFi ecosystems. Remember what we said at the start. At the heart of the Overledger Fusion is the Overledger platform. Very useful platform. Itself and our patented multi-ledger rollup technology, which creates a multi-chain rollup network that operates seamlessly across existing Layer 1 blockchains. The unique approach bridges the gap between private and public networks, ensuring the scalability, compliance, privacy, and interoperability requirements or required by today's most demanding use cases. Let's take a look at why this all matters. The current generation of Layer 1 blockchains has successfully demonstrated the value of decentralized systems, resilience, distribution, and secure environments that facilitate the transfer of digital value. Yet for mainstream institutional adoption, critical challenges remain unsolved. Overledger Fusion is designed to meet growing institutional demand by solving the core limitations of today's public blockchain infrastructure, which continues to be barriers to widespread institutional adoption and implementation. The current barriers to public blockchain adoption: node compliance risk. Institutions cannot determine where public Layer 1 nodes are hosted or who controls them. That's why we highlight, actually, one of the reasons we highlight Hedera hash graph, which is literally the nodes are ran by the largest institutions in the world. Anyway, this poses unacceptable risks, especially if nodes are based in sanctioned jurisdictions. Privacy exposure, public visibility of smart contracts, wallet activity, and transactions can expose sensitive commercial information and client data. Security gaps, enterprise-grade access controls, key management, and secure integration into public chains are difficult to achieve at scale. People don't want to have to build their own applications. They want to go to somebody like, and this is why Overledger is going to succeed, Quant, and essentially go, hey, we want to do this. Can you do it for us? And they go, yeah, sure, here's an API and it'll do it all for you. And we'll make it private. We'll make it secure. We'll handle all the hard parts. We'll do the censoring. We'll do the vetting, so on and so forth. You just need to use our system and, of course, pay in the Quant token, which you can sort of do in a dollar amount. We should probably do a video on that. Limited interoperability. Today's one-to-one bridge solution, like mint and burn or wrap assets, are cumbersome, they often don't work, and limit asset movement across chains. Single chain rollups and isolated development constraints constrain asset functionality and reach. Scalability bottlenecks. Layer 1 networks grow linearly through individual node additions. Yeah, not all of them. In contrast, a network of networks approach like Fusion's enables exponential growth by connecting networks themselves. So, like if you think about Ethereum and it's like ecosystem with all its layers, layer 2s, whatever. Quant's kind of like bringing it all together like that ecosystem, but for the whole cryptocurrency space. It is very interesting. Key drivers behind institutional adoption. Institutions, including banks, fintech, asset managers, exchanges, and corporates, are eager to adopt public blockchain technology but face serious barriers. Regulatory compliance, data privacy, security, interoperability, and scalability. The Overledger Fusion solution. Overledger Fusion introduces a new paradigm in blockchain architecture, offering a layer 2.5 multi-chain rollup network that delivers enhanced capabilities over existing single chain layer 2s. A secure pathway for institutions, enterprises, and DeFi users to enact interact with public blockchains while maintaining regulatory compliance and privacy. The ability for institutions to connect to private DLTs and assets to public chains without compromising control. QuantFlow users can integrate Fusion to enhance public blockchain access and expand their PayScript capabilities. Faster, cheaper, scalable transactions across multiple layer 1 chains. Natively multi-chain digital assets with secure any-to-any interoperability. No reliance on one-to-one bridges. DeFi users can deposit, interact, and withdraw assets across chains using the Fusion Layer 2.5 network, moving beyond the limitations of single chain rollups. Quant is the native token powering and securing the network. All institutional enterprises and DeFi participants use Quant to transact with Fusion. And it goes on to talk about a number of things. I think one thing that's very important is what's next. So when does all this roll out? And I think I just want to talk about the useful nature of this, right? Think about how the whole world is going to leverage DLT. They need access to it. Right now, it's very cumbersome to gain that. Quant are simplifying that, and they're doing it in a very accessible manner. I think that's going to see a lot of usage and utility, and of course, that's going to drive demand for the Quant token, which has a very limited supply. You get the picture here. So what's next? The rollout of Overledger's Fusion by Quant Network begins in June 2025. That's next month, by the way, guys, with a phased delivery of core features and the Trusted Node program. Each release will expand capabilities, laying the foundations for a truly interoperable, scalable, and secure blockchain infrastructure tailored for institutional and DeFi growth. Overledger Fusion marks the beginning of a new era, a universal multi-chain layer 2.5 designed to make public blockchain enterprise ready and mainstream. Stay tuned as we reshape the future of decentralized finance and digital infrastructure. I mean, how could I not make a video on this? This is huge. And we've always highlighted Quant. The last time we spoke about it, it was in relation to the ECB and the digital euro and how they were going to play a key role in that. That's talking about money. And I think, again, you should want Quant to succeed, just like you should want Chainlink to succeed. I know there's a bit of a... We can talk about the differences and similarities there. But if Quant succeeds, the underlying public layer ones that it's connecting institutions to succeed also. And certainly Gilbert's been very vocal on Hedera previously. Let's talk about some price action, because everyone wants to know where I think the price is going. It's not changed for us. We've said this is just accumulation. This could turn out to be a bit of a double bottom. If it does, you're looking at about a $1,200 Quant price. The last thing that we actually looked at was this sort of channel. Off log, it's a bit of a falling wedge, and we were highlighting a hell of a lot of falling wedges across the board, really, for the cryptocurrency space. And they're basically all playing out. You know, this is a falling wedge. You've got what we like to typically look at, which is sort of a kind of a loss of momentum. And then, you know, you've broken out. We looked at it here and you've continued to run. I think the last time we looked at Quant, just a couple of weeks ago, it was $84. So where were we? Here. And today it's up 35%. In a matter of weeks, that's not a bad return from a traditional investment standpoint. I actually personally think, if this is a falling wedge, you're going to retrace this entire move and actually embark onto higher ground. And that really could align with the bigger sort of time frame pattern that we have, which could be a double bottom. This is just accumulation. You're about to enter a real uptrend and you've still got all-time highs and so on and so forth ahead of you. The one thing I really like about Quant, I mean, how high can Quant go? I don't know. But what I can tell you, and I'm going to pull this up now, is it's got an extremely capped supply, right? So if we look here, the max supply of Quant is only ever going to be just shy of 15 million tokens. That's less than Bitcoin. And Bitcoin sits at 100K. I'm not saying Quant's going to get there, but today its market cap is 1.3 billion. Could a project like Quant become a few hundred billion? I'm going to leave that to your imagination. Could it become a trillion in the future? Well, we just don't know how successful it's going to be, but right now it's very well positioned in regards to this digital revolution. That's it from me. I'm going to love and leave you all. It's always a pleasure, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching. See you soon.